Hello, this is Pompey, and in today's episode of You Get Me, we have another solo show, which is actually not something I wanted to do today. I wanted to get a guest on, but for whatever reason, people are busy, and I wanted the audience to have something to listen to while they're working or doing whatever they do, because life can be boring, life can be whatever. I understand the struggle. I've fucking lived it for a long, long time, and today I wanted to talk about promiscuity and lust versus love and what's true love. And I know I've talked about it on an episode prior titled Jessica Rabbit, but I don't think I really went into depth with it as far as the spiritual aspect of love goes. In my humble personal opinion, I believe love is an intangible feeling, an emotion that us as human beings go through. And not just human beings, animals go through love. I'm sorry, my phone just vibrated. But, okay, deviant art message. That's cool. People be posting art, and I love art, so I love you too. Was that art talking back to me, or was that just me in a never-ending circle of my own conscious? Who the fuck knows? We all live, we all do things. That's the best part about being a human. That's the best part about experiencing the human condition. Not that it's a condition that can be cured or uncured or impure or purged. It's just life itself and the universe's movement towards the center source. That probably sounded like a blah to you, but whatever. I'm pretty intellectual, or philosophical would be a better word, as far as my speech goes, and I've talked about it before. I don't ever mean to sound like a smartass. It's just the way my words come out sometimes. I don't ever try to come off as superior. I kind of believe we're all pretty equal as far as like existing here goes. But like I said, I want to talk about promiscuity and what drives a person to, say they get married one day and they promise themselves to each other and then they go and break that bond. As long as the two parties are comfortable, delving out into something else, the arts outside of the contract of marriage, I don't see an issue with it. Like I said, as long as they're comfortable with each other, consenting adults choosing to do something. But the people who decide to go against their partner and cheat on them, I don't want to sound like a white knight right now, but it just fucking sickens me sometimes to think that you did this and then you broke the trust of a person you cared about the most, at least at a certain point. And in my humble opinion, if you have gotten deep into a marriage, I guess, if you're 30 years deep into whatever, and you're thinking about, I don't love this person and this and that, or whatever you may be thinking about, I would implore you to go talk to that person and tell them how you really feel, because who knows? They also might be lost. They also might feel a little whatever. And I'm not talking to anybody specific right now. I just mean general aspects, general married couples, like people that exist in the day-to-day and do things on the regular basis because they have nothing better to do than to enjoy their lives. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there really isn't. To find a purpose, to find one's true self, and to find the path that you want to be on, to walk on. Maybe the path the universe needs you on, but I think it's really beautiful to discover one's own destiny, or even create your own destiny. Become an artist that you never even thought you could achieve to be that artist, or become somebody of importance, somebody that you value. That you would, if you were not that person, you would care about the person existing on the other end of the spectrum, if you could understand what I mean. And like I said, I legitimately don't mean to get too philosophical. I want this podcast to be understandable to like the common person that may, or not saying that people are illiterate, but I could understand that people would get confused in words because it's happened to me before. I went to high school, I went to middle school. I experienced the United States of America's education system, and while I will be the first to point out that it is somewhat flawed as far as modern curriculums go, I experienced it, and I wouldn't go back and change anything. It made me become the person that I am now, and I'm very happy with this person. So, I wouldn't do it different if I had the chance to go back. Let me try and get back on topic here, because I wanted to talk about procreation in this podcast. And procreation, if you didn't know, was making a baby, like a male and a female coming together, Adam and Eve having kids. No pressure to anyone who's thinking about having a baby. Legitimately, I don't want you guys to feel so weird. This is just a podcast where we share ideas. This is an open environment to speak mind, to speak what's on it. Like, I want to create a space where there's no judgment towards your brothers and sisters, and no ill intent, no negativity, no bad vibes here. This is a podcast that is positivity in its purest form, or at least that's what I try and give it. That's why I try to stand by, because I don't really believe there's room for negativity as far as life and, things go. But when you find a spiritual partner, when you find someone, your soulmate, I guess, when you find somebody that you care about on the deepest of levels, and not just look at how bomb that person is, or look how fat her booty is, or look how handsome he is, or look at his abs. It's not me and this person. I can see way past that, and I can see the soul. And I'm not claiming that I'm anybody special whatsoever, but I can appreciate the mind without the body. Like I've talked to people, and I feel like I speak to their spirit sometimes, because I hear what they have to say and their true opinions, and I come down to their level. Not to say that they're below me when I say come down. I just mean I kind of place myself with them, and I feel it. I feel their vibe. I feel maybe I have a sixth sense. Maybe I'm a sensitive or something. But I've never actually gone to go figure it out or whatever. When I speak to a person, I kind of feel the intention there. And I don't know if that's a personal thing for me that only I can do at a certain point. But I think everyone can do that. Kind of just get the vibe of people. If you're willing to relax with the ebb and flow and let things go as they are, you can really learn a lot of things from just sitting down and taking a step back and watching for a while. And I'm not saying to just not partake in life. Just understand that sometimes you do kind of have to be silent. And I'm not forcing people to shut their mouths or anything. You don't have to be silent, but it's a good step sometimes. To just sit and watch the universe. It's beautiful. I'm fucking gonna cry right now. But I'm sorry, I apologize. I am not gonna cry. I'm gonna hold my tears in. But I wanted to talk about love versus lust, and being able to identify the different characteristics between the two emotions. Or maybe that's the incorrect word. Maybe they're not emotions, but that's always what I've labeled them as, so I will continue to do so. Love, like I said, is the spiritual bonding of two individuals that find themselves somewhere that it feels like the whole world moves, but those two stay the same. Lust, on the other hand, is part of the human ego, where your eyes associate that body with beauty. And not to say that it's negative. Everybody wants to look nice at a certain point. I hope I'm not coming across like that, because I definitely can appreciate a beautiful woman. I can appreciate a handsome dude, even though I don't consider myself a homosexual. But part of love versus lust is the physical and the metaphysical. The spiritual bondhood of love and the sexual attraction of lust. And they're one and the same. But at the same time, I recognize some sort of difference there. Some sort of, how would you word it? It's really beautiful, like I said before, to see that it's all there, but promiscuity, as far as people just fooling around with each other, I could understand it. I could understand why people just would want to fucking do this and that or whatever, because it feels good. Getting a penis massage or a vaginal, whatever, totally. I understand why people do it. I understand why it's seeked out. But it's not, I want to remind people that it's not everything. Even without sex, we have no babies. Without babies, we have no future. So in a way, I kind of just bullshitted myself, because it is everything and nothing at the same time. People can live without sex. People can live without it. But there is no future without it. Like procreation, the purest form, two bodies coming together to form a new. It is gorgeous. But people get lost in that, and they forget that, sex is meant for that. I personally believe that the creator or whatever came before us that put us here, he made sex feel good as an incentive to want to keep going, to want to keep the human race striving forward. Because if it didn't feel good, why would you want to do it? Why would you want to procreate? Why would you want to keep the constant flow of the universe onward? And I think legitimately it's the incentive. It's just my personal humble opinion, but I could understand the other perspective, and people may say it's not why. People would just be lusting and this and that or whatever. And I agree. I legitimately agree with that side of the point of view. But I just wish people had an understanding. Like I said prior, like I've said in previous episodes, we're all people, and we all have brains and minds and things. And I personally feel that pussy, as far as me, I feel like it's easy to get pussy. I feel like most guys can get it if they really set their minds to it. But as far as my own personal characteristic of the person that I am, I don't value pussy on the level of, like, I just need to fucking bust my nut. It's not me. It's not the way I've been built. It's not the way that I thrive on. I care more about the brain inside that, the pussy is attached to a body, and there's a brain on that body, and it's something that I would want to nurture and take care of, and not necessarily take advantage of as far as just sex goes. That's where I draw the line between love and lust. I think sexual deprivation is definitely real, and people can kind of go a little crazy if they never get it, but people have to understand that, like, we're all brains, like, in our own little bodies, just moving around, being promiscuous, understanding what we've come to grow, and it's really gorgeous. Like, it really, really is. Yeah. I don't want to, like, confuse people with this. I legitimately just wanted to get the ideas out there and speak about it, give my opinion on, on love and lust, because I feel like in, the current happenings of creation and the current happenings of life or whatever, at least in this form, in this person, the guy that I'm speaking out of right now, like me, it's just we're all in a weird space of trying to figure out who we will be and who we want to be, as far as the human race goes, as far as individuality goes, as far as the person that exists in the current state of you. And I don't mean to sound confusing. I don't mean to flip you out. I just want to share the humble ideas that I have. And when I say humble, I'm not saying, oh, look at me, I'm the dude. I'm just saying maintain some level of, care for your own person. Like, care about you first before you delve into the reality of others and you try to change someone for the incorrect reasons. I do my best to help the people that I care about, and I offer insight, and I offer, I give advice, but I know I want them to want to take the advice. I would never want to force my opinion onto people. It's like the last thing I would want to do. I don't strive to inhibit consciousness. I strive to help it grow. That's my own personal mission that I gave myself. It's what I like doing. It's what I enjoy. And I like a lot of things. I like comic books. I like movies. I like TV shows. I'm a pretty regular dude. I just kind of have love for life. And like I said, I don't mean to sound like the white knight. I don't mean to sound like, oh, look at me, special guy. I wish more people had an understanding, and I wish more people cared about their brothers and sisters, about their families. I didn't mean to become a downer here. I didn't mean to get all depressing, but it's just the thoughts of me, just the everyday, just the things that I think about because they're interesting to think about. All right, well, I guess that was it for this episode. I pretty much got what I wanted to say out, so I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. So thank you for being here, legitimately you. I'm talking to you, the listener. Thank you for sitting down and choosing to listen to this, because without you, there is no me. And it's just the facts of life. So I love you, like I really do. And I know that sounds like, anybody can say I love you, but I want you to feel me and feel the love that I have for you, that you chose to be here now, and I respect you just because you're living. That's gorgeous. Continue. Alright, peace, love, namaste, and do yoga.